Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. We got the Keep It Clean Sports Show. We are back. We are back. Appreciate y'all pulling up for us. Like, comment, and subscribe. Dropping on YouTube, pushing these out every Thursday during the NFL college season or CTE season, whichever way you want to call it. Giving you live episodes to prepare you for the weekends that we have going on. Without much further ado, we have a brother from another mother that has pulled up on us. I'm hoping to make him a regular. He thinks this is a tryout. This is more so me applying for the job over there. And there's some permissions I gotta ask. Submit some receipts, PTO requests, things of that nature. But we are here. Can you introduce yourself, my guy?
Yeah. So my name is Abe. Know my boy David for quite some time now. This is one of your people you call your brother, not your friend. So when he told me to pull up to the pod, it was nothing. I've been watching and laughing through all the jokes and the craziness anyway. So I'm ready to talk sports, man. That's what I'm here for.
Appreciate it. You go ahead and introduce your sports teams. We're going to go college and professionals. Who are your squads?
Okay. So even though David gives me a bunch of junk for my teams anyway,
he about to lie?
I'm really not. My college teams are, as you can see in my name, University of Michigan, go blue. Everything else don't matter. My basketball team right now, and always has been, according to David, but it's the Los Angeles Lakers, and my football team is the Detroit Lions.
He's been a Pistons fan and lying about it since I can remember.
See, hey, do I need to log off now? Like, what's going on, man?
He was born in Michigan, and then just because he grew a fro, like Kobe, now all of a sudden he switched teams. Allegedly.
So you're not gonna tell him? You're not gonna tell him my mom was from LA or nothing like that?
Allegedly.
All right, yeah.
He switched teams. Your mom being from LA and giving birth to you in Michigan, I think that's a trump. I'm just saying. I think that's a trump card there.
I can't do nothing, and my whole mom side of the family is in California. I can't do nothing about that.
Allegedly.
Hey man, I had two choices in front of me. One looked way better than the other. That's all I got to say.
Man, okay. So, what's your sports background?
So mainly basketball is my sport. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I played 6'7", played basketball for quite some time. Played in college. Played with you in some adult leagues and all that. We definitely got buckets. Played basketball for a long time. Still do to this day. Playing in pro-ams, whatever I could get my feet into just to stay competitive. Definitely had some higher competition as far as playing with people, but yeah, football, I have a real big interest into it. My family is obviously Go Blue fans. We've watched football my entire life. My dad was a big football player and stuff like that. So that's where that kind of comes from. Mom played basketball. So it was kind of like the sports team with team, what do you want to play? I didn't like being outside in the Texas heat where I grew up from my high school years. So that made it real easy for me.
Look, I don't want y'all to be fooled by his quote unquote alleged Lakers affiliation. This man tried to fight me on the court like we weren't homies one time. And you only do that if you a Pistons fan, right? Like that's known to their nature. So like you never seen.
You gonna tell the whole story? You gonna tell the whole story?
You never seen no Showtime Lakers trying to pull up and like, nah, bro. He's a Pistons fan, man.
Wow. Hey, if you watch the Hulu show for the Lakers Showtime, they was fighting. That's all I'm saying.
Before we hooped that night, he was in the car watching Ben Wallace highlights.
My bad.
He was watching Ben Wallace highlights in the car and came in there on some different type of time, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, Sheed said this, and then he was like, I had to move, bro. I had to move.
Nah.
He was wearing forces on the court, like
never. Could never just mess up my feet. That's what you saying, huh? I got the LeBron toe out here. That's what you said.
He was wearing forces, man. I said not the forces. He creasing them willingly. Yeah.
You know what? The good thing about it is the people on this pod know that ain't who you are. So I'm gonna just let it go.
They get moments. They get moments. It's like when I go outside, and then all of a sudden everybody want to go inside. That's not fun. That's not fun.
Yeah, whatever.
Why you take the ball just because you lost?
Oh, I gotta go. I gotta go.
You
You know
feel
that
me?
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh, I
man.
gotta roll. Yeah. All right. Whatever.
Oh, tough times, tough times. All right, so highlights. We had a weekend. We had a
Yeah.
weekend of, man, great football. Any highlights that's happened in the sports world in the last week that you want to touch on? This could be anything. We
So
coming back for you,
basically, we.
Kawhi.
Ooh, yeah, we need to talk about that. But a bunch of the football games this weekend just really kind of mapping out the landscape of college and pros. Like we talked about it briefly before all this, but just bringing it in together, like some of these schedules looking a little shaky. I'm
Mm,
not one to sit here and talk about, you got to play everybody hard every week, but some of these teams that just are jumping into conferences so they can get better players, they're not showing up like they're supposed to. You should have kept your butt over there where you was
mm.
doing halfway decent and coming over here and messing up our conference. I ain't gonna call no USC. I ain't gonna call nobody out, but like, it's just one of them things. Like you gotta come in, correct it. We're gonna have to call it out. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, okay, fair points, fair points. So building off that, some of y'all, some of y'all are going out here just to be the bitter person at a wedding. Y'all are on full there's some teams out here on full upset time. Like I'm here to ruin your day. The games, the games that we usually see when it's an unranked versus a ranked, you just
Mm-hmm.
assume blowout, right? You get
Yeah,
an upset every
yeah,
now and then, cool, cool, cool. Like for the most part, it's gonna be a blowout. These people
right.
fighting like they all got the text that the other team was taking a woman in real time. Like there has been some great college games, man. And
Yes.
I think it's been beautiful, mainly for the fact that a lot of the teams we expected to be something ain't that. There's a couple of y'all. There's a couple of them that, woo, you took a Mike Tyson blow to the face. You were out of there, man. So so we could get straight into it, man. I got quick highlights. This is what I saw. Illinois beat
Okay.
USC. You one of them teams that I feel like A
Mm-hmm.
talking about too. You one of them teams that like you up here, but to their credit, they've been in a conference that's been you could justify it. Cool.
Yeah.
I just think you in rare air and coming off of a game that you just got smacked down last week, you needed to show something. You got USC, but you weren't supposed to get them like that, right?
I
They
got
came
one
back.
quick
They
point.
almost took that game. Go.
Yeah, I got one quick point. We saw them put the Big Ten patch on their uniforms the year before they even came to the conference when they were recruiting players, so that way they could make sure they knew they was coming into the Big Ten. I'm just saying we're gonna do all that, and then when we come in, I'm just saying if you and then you where are we going with this?
Okay. Okay. Now, to that same point, how do you feel about USC, UCLA, Oregon, like them being in the Big Ten as of now? They first year, last year, so far, what you seeing? What is that looking like for you?
So for my team, I'm not too concerned about anyone other than Oregon. Oregon was an established running machine before they even came over to the conference. So that is one where
Right.
you're like, okay, that machine's gonna keep running because it's Nike. They got the money, they got the pool, they got the name, they got the jerseys. We're not gonna act like jerseys don't make a point in what school you go to, because I'd be damned if I
Facts.
go to some school that's just got something crazy across the chest, the unicorns. Like we know better, right? So that's a team that you definitely have to look out for. USC, UCLA. I thought maybe when they came in they would make a splash. Seeing how they've been the last couple of years, and especially this year for UCLA, my God, they've got to figure
Mm,
their situation out because
mm.
the Tennessee quarterback that went over there knew better, and now he's sitting over here tearing it up like that. Like, yeah, There's a few things that I was concerned about watching them. Now I'm just like, oh, you guys will just be at the bottom of the barrel. Okay, cool.
Which is crazy considering the name, because it from your opinion, having those names there, do you think it boosts or bolsters the conference?
A few names, yes. I think if you would have looked at the landscape before all this happened and said adding UCLA, USC, Oregon, like those teams are going to make us more money, I would agree with you and say yes. You're just talking about some of the biggest schools in the country. Of course, that brings in money, that brings in fans. As far as it comes to being competitive, USC has not been competitive for a while. So they're trying to
Wild.
bandwagon off the Big Ten so that way they can get the players they need to be competitive. If that's the case that they can be, great. We haven't seen it yet. UCLA, they thought that they had it by hiring the coach. They got their quarterback. They're thinking, oh boy,
Mm-hmm.
this is it. And now we're sitting here looking at a flop. These are schools, like I said, Oregon, that's a problem. Like we knew when they came
Right.
in that was a problem. So it's just one of those type of situations where I'm hoping that they do get better because I want to see this conference be competitive from the top to the floor. But I mean, you're always going to have like Central Michigan and some of these other teams where it's just like
Right.
it is what it is.
The interesting part about it, I was expecting Oregon to be USC and USC to be Oregon in this conference because USC can
Mm,
mess around and get people that focus heavily on defense. You can figure out
right.
the offense. Like the Big Ten, you can figure out the offense. But most of the times you are starting with, I need this type of defense to be functional. You might
Yes.
have some high scorers that will, like with the spread offense or the passing style that Ohio State has, but Ohio State also produces defense. Like
Yes.
defense is still a
Oh
priority.
yeah.
Michigan is a priority. Penn State, all these defenders that are coming out. So that seemed more up USC's alley to me.
Hmm.
UCLA, I always is like, man, based on what you've been showing, you might be middle of the pack. You might get more recruits knowing you're
Right.
going to the Big Ten, but USC is like right there.
Right.
Like, so
Right.
you're still kind of stuck getting the leftover. So where you're gonna be, it could depend. Oregon, I thought is like, man, y'all aren't defenders ever. Right? Like you
The
like you
fastest wideout you've ever seen in your life. Yeah.
so we just used you put up 54 to
Yeah.
72 week
Yeah.
in, week out, and then we watch you come into the college football playoffs and struggle.
Yeah.
Every year struggle. So I thought it'd be a problem. They holding their own. And like, man, like, hey, you know what? A, the best defense is a good offense, and we just gonna keep hey, this
Keep it
is what
rolling.
y'all know. This is what we
Right.
know. And
Right.
because we also pretty much unused outside of depending on the year within Ohio State, it's like y'all aren't used to seeing high flying offenses that just only throw for
Right.
most of that conference, right? So it's like, okay, you got your Saquon Barkleys that are coming out, you got your Blake Corums, you got all them, you got backs, but
Yeah.
we weren't used to seeing the ball fly, not like
Yeah.
this,
No.
So
No.
that's tough. Okay,
That's Big
okay,
Ten though. Big Ten usually has a really good running back, and they ground and pound the ball, and then they rely on their defense because they don't want the quarterback throwing more than 5 times in a quarter. Like it
big
is
fact,
what it is. Yeah.
big facts. Well, sticking to the Big Ten, Oregon went in, got one out of Penn State in OT,
And the whiteout party.
and the whiteout party got one, and it wasn't a low scoring game. It was 30 to
No.
24. Mind you, went to overtime. But so
Right.
they went into overtime. It was 24-24 going into overtime.
Right.
My man's last week, Jamel, he not here this week. He was betting that Penn State pulls it off. Because
Okay.
no, we don't see Oregon in those types of dogfights. Are they are they the scary team? Or one of these scary teams? I know they're already ranked high, but after seeing the game like that, are they one of the scary teams to expect for the rest of the season?
Yes. I don't.
Mm,
It's one of those you can argue and debate. When you look at the tape, when you look at the team, when you look at their coach, everything about the pedigree of what they're showing right now shows they could be scary in the end. I would like to see a little more from the defense. Not to say that they didn't have a great, decent game. I'll say decent because it was a high score. They had a decent game, but they were playing a really good team. But I would
okay.
say that in this case, you would have to argue that they're gonna be there towards the end.
Okay. Okay. And that it does kind of change with the playoff field widening. This is the Oregon you wanted to see when it was still only 4 teams. Like
Yes,
where was this when you had the opportunities just to upset everybody and just
yes,
real quick tangent. Oregon wins any of these playoff championships, most of the country would be satisfied. You didn't have to hate on Alabama doing getting the
Right.
luck or whatever
Right.
SEC team, and then praying for this Big 12 team of whether it be the TCUs, whether they should or should not, and then being mad because somewhere something got lost in the sauce with an ACC team.
Right.
It's Oregon.
Right.
Everybody loves your uniform. Go Oregon, right? Like nobody's mad that Oregon wins. You feel me? Like, no
Right.
one's upset. It's like, oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You might go
We
cop a
get
jersey.
behind that. Yeah. Yeah.
I just go get a jersey,
Yeah.
like yeah, needed you to be there. So no, they pull one off. The way that you felt that the defense could have been better for Oregon is what I say about Penn State's offense. I felt that there was a lot of miscues there
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't typical even for them. Just
Mm-hmm.
you could have had a couple of moments, and then leading up to even the interception. Or I'm sorry, no, not the interception, just them not being able to score in overtime. Like you just got
Mm-hmm.
stopped. You just
Yeah.
got stopped, and you had the game.
Yep.
You had the game before going into overtime. Is like that. Those functions when you are playing the Michigans, you're playing the Ohio States, you're playing the Oregons. You're going to need an offense.
Yeah.
That is the Big Ten now. Like the offense is catching up and arguably pushing towards being one of the better conferences for offense in college football. Like we're
Makes sense.
seeing it, get there. You got to be able to score. So Ohio State beats Washington. I know I got this one for you. Go blue, right? Got you. Ohio State goes in there, and I would say handedly
Mm-hmm.
put it to Washington, man. They
Mm-hmm.
snapped the 22 game home streak that Washington was holding on to, and I expected it to be a closer game. Washington's quarterback is really good, and I
Yeah.
think he has league sharpness. Is just still developing, and we'll see where he tries to carry that team. It currently being unranked, so you have the world to work with. Cool.
Right.
Ohio State did their job for the rank that they're supposed to be at. You go in there, you play a conference game, you handle that moment, push on.
That's it.
Respect it. All right. My game of the weekend. LSU and Ole Miss.
Yes.
I felt like that was my game of the weekend going in. That's what I predicted last pod.
Yep.
And even though I called OSU, I did state Ole Miss is one of those teams to be scared of year in and year out just because of when they decide to pull up, they could pull up. They just missed the consistency. But when they decide to pull up, man.
Lane Kiffin loves to spoil a party. He is
All the
literally the
time.
wedding crasher. He is a wedding crash. He wants to come in and he says, "Oh, y'all was having so fun in here. Get out of it!" Like he loves crashing a party, and most of the time he does it at the end of the season, whenever you really need that W because you need to get into the college football playoffs, and he just goes, "You know what? If I ain't making it, neither are you." And then he just takes you out
and smiles while doing it.
Oh yeah,
Smiles and looks at you because he knows. It's like, yeah. Oh man, your job's on the line? No.
Oh yeah. Not to mention the fact that his girlfriend's boyfriend was on the other team, and then he got to send him home with an L.
You can't have that. You can't have that.
I'm saying you can't let him smile on your face because you saw him on the sideline. They had a couple times where they was looking at each other. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be a weird family dinner.
Yeah, man, look. As a boyfriend of my daughter, I still need you to know who runs this. You feel me? Like, so in that moment,
yeah.
Ole Miss was playing like Lane Kiffin was on the field.
Yes.
That's the way he coached. Like, I'm going to beat you through them. Great game. Great SEC class, bro. That was a good one. Notre Dame put belt to ass on Arkansas. I don't even know what more we could say to that. Notre Dame went nuts on Arkansas. And I will say, I'm only partially surprised because Arkansas could be hit or miss depending on when you see them. But I thought there'd be a little bit more defense. Again, I'm only okay with Notre Dame winning because they have a black head coach. That's it. That's it.
They need to get it rolling anyway because they haven't started the season off great, so they need to get it rolling. So this is that turn.
Genuinely, I only hate for y'all that are listening. I don't have a college team. I watch the game. This can be confirmed. Abe and I go way back. I don't have a college team. But I have two that I hate: Gonzaga basketball, Notre Dame football. Y'all don't play nobody year in, year out, glide to this high seed just to get every year
Oh
in
my
whatever the
god.
respective. Both of y'all are frauds. You are fraudulent. Stop hiding. Go play with the big dogs. Show us. You're phonies. You have a black head coach. That's the only reason.
Saving grace. Yes, sir.
I I hope this propels him to some blue chip school in the near future. I do. No
Yeah.
matter how good or bad they do, I hope he gets over there and just rips off high playoffs and championships,
Yes.
just so we can say it's you. That's it.
Hey,
That's it.
hey, send him over to Clemson for Dabo. Do a nice little
Mm,
swapperoo.
mm, mm.
Hey, hey.
Speaking of that, the homie said last week they feel like Dabo is going to pull up on Alabama.
Hmm.
Thoughts? Alabama with the
Eh,
upset because their coach isn't looking hot. He
yeah,
in that water. So if it
yeah.
wasn't
No, he
for
definitely in trouble.
hey, because Alabama beats them,
Right,
I thought it was an upset. I know in the chat you said you didn't think it was necessarily one. I thought it was an upset because nobody's scared of Alabama and
right,
Georgia
right.
has been consistent. Ah, you pulled it off. Arguably a saving job for the coach or a saving win. Job saving win.
Here's the problem. For me, you went from the greatest dynasty of Alabama
Mm-hmm.
to leading off to when Saban left, and it wasn't the greatest because he was struggling and he didn't like the new rules, so he had to go. Um, Understandably so, you take a coach from Washington where he had some really high success, and you say, "Hey, I want you to be our guy." Cool. The expectation on him is to be Nick Saban, though, because they just had all that
Okay.
money, they have all the success, they have the facilities, they got everything in place. This is supposed to be a functioning machine. But I think some people at the top don't quite understand that this is going to take a rebuild, not a crazy one, but a slight one. And
Fair.
it's he has the infrastructure, he just has to build upon it. He doesn't have to build the foundation. So I just feel like it's going to be hard for them to really be that team again until he gets 3-4 years in to where he has those guys kind of coming in through the rotation. That's just my opinion.
I think I might have an opposing opinion. Not for most of what you said. I think specifically for him.
Mm-hmm.
Coach names weigh a heavy part in recruiting as well.
1,000%.
So in that pool of SEC, his name is nowhere like
It's the
especially
school. It's not his name.
right. So especially entering Texas and OU, if I'm gonna play for Alabama, it is solely because you're riding on the legacy of Alabama right now.
Right.
So I can go get numbers at OU. I could go play. Maybe I'm trying to think of the other SEC. Hell, man, I feel like Alabama, you still have that name, but if he doesn't get it to a certain point, I don't know if he has a full 3 or 4 years. I think he has about by maybe this point next year. Because if not, we're watching Vanderbilt rise and let you be in a
Talk about
situation
it.
where you have to now either pull up a player is choosing Vanderbilt over you. Let
Talk about it.
Purdue mess around and start making it by accident because Vanderbilt's nice now. Purdue can mess around and do that. It's still the SEC,
Right.
right? So if you are in a pool where I gotta compete to get players that used to just be guaranteed blue chips coming to me, you might have to go get a
Spooky.
name.
Spooky.
So so now if you insert, for example, if Dabo goes over there, you know who he is.
Yep.
You
He
willing to
country
go do
boy. He's
it?
ready. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And coming back in, I'm trying to get tradition back to Alabama or something like that. Just enough to get certain players that believe in that. And like, just, that's what I'm going for. I'm
Yep.
here to be a part of a legacy, all that. Cause a lot of players are coming out feeling that type of way. You need that name or
Right.
Notre Dame. I'm cool with you. Hey, my man,
Yeah.
just leave Notre Dame. Just,
Yeah. Yeah.
just leave
Just
Notre
go
Dame, bro.
anywhere else. Florida
Anywhere,
Atlantic. Anywhere.
anywhere. You head down there to the
Yeah.
SEC.
Yeah.
and be a black head coach in the
Hmm.
SEC.
That would be
Sir,
fire. That would be
sir,
fire. Yeah.
sir,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Your first your first 2 years, the transfer portal would look insane for you.
Yep. Yep.
You just you just gotta deal with just just a tad bit of racism, like a cup of racism. Cause
It
they
ain't a
ain't gonna
cup.
let it be easy
It
though.
ain't a cup. It's at his front door, and it's a whole jar. It ain't a cup. But
Just
here's the difference: if he wins, they'll leave him be.
yeah,
They'll
yeah.
invite them
You,
to the cookout. They'll do the whole nine. They'll be like, "Man, we tailgating out here for Marcus." They'll be
look,
out there
man.
doing all
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
you're the favorite until that one upset, bro. Like you just got.
Woo.
I would say if there was one to enter the SEC, I would say start. This is crazy to say out loud. If you do get in the SEC, start in Florida
With the shrug.
because
Yeah.
it's crazy to say Florida might be the easiest to deal with out of all the other states
Yeah.
involved, and you
Yeah.
can't go to
Yeah.
Miss. You can't
They
go to
up front
Mississippi.
with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yes. But Alabama, Alabama beats Georgia. We gonna pull up on Tennessee. You look shaky. You look shaky. Now, again, SEC,
Yes. They're
Mississippi
gonna get
State.
their best game. Yep.
Mississippi State could some say, them and A&M. Those people that
Yeah.
we hold you at a higher standard. You never meet the standard, but for
Hmm.
some reason you just show up when I hate you the most, right? But they went to OT, man.
Yeah.
They
It
went
was
to
a really
OT.
good game. It was a really good game. I just think it's one of those where at the end of the game, you see why you have the money to pay the players that you do. I think
Yeah,
that State came, they did their thing, they made it a competitive game. They could have walked away with it, less a few mistakes there at the end. But you get to a point where you're like, man, we in this, and then that money shows, and you go, this is why they're on Tennessee, and I'm on Mississippi State.
yeah,
Just saying,
because that money would have got you a better kicker. That money would have got you a kicker that would win the
because the
game.
kickers are getting paid in NIL deals as well. They ain't getting left at the table. So let's just let's
The
throw that up
kicker,
there.
the kicker was the difference between winning in regular and losing in OT. Because the sad part is it's one of those, bro. You gave them 34.
Yes,
Tennessee is a good offense. To your credit, you
yeah,
see the QB right there. So you gave them 34.
yeah,
Anytime you see that scenario, and I hate it too, because always for the underdogs, once it goes to overtime, my shoulders be like, damn, man, because you gave your best punch. Now you're reaching into an empty tank. And they threw the money at the NIL. Like that's
yes,
they got they
yes,
got a few more rechargeable batteries waiting to be used, bro. Like
yes,
the difference between you needing an outlet and me having to, like, like we go out to the fair. So now you looking, you desperate for a plug, and then, oh man,
right,
look at this. A
right.
charging case. That's crazy. Yeah, man. That's one of them hard ones. All right. Georgia Tech, who's been the dark horse. I intentionally put this game there. I put that one on.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech squeaked by Wake Forest.
Hmm.
Squeaked by Wake Forest, man.
Hmm. I
I
was
was
impressed by
hoping,
Wake Forest.
I'm also looking at Georgia Tech. It's like I was watching y'all to see if the Clemson game was a fluke.
Right.
That's what I've been watching to see, is this a
The
fluke,
parameter.
or
Yep.
or y'all like that? Like you getting in that realm. Should we be talking about Georgia Tech?
Hmm.
I don't know if this one should have been that close.
It shouldn't have. I was impressed with Wake Forest more than I was disappointed in Georgia Tech
Yeah,
because you're looking at a team knowing that if you beat them, you'll run the field and just like go nuts.
yeah.
But you get to a point where you give yourself a chance to win. It doesn't come through. Again, bigger school, better kids, makes it a little bit of difference. I get that. But to put yourself in that position, Georgia Tech, in my opinion, should be dropping for that win, not increasing their seed.
Say less. Say less. As a matter of fact, because where do they have them?
They're 17th when the week was going.
They have them at. Where you at, GT?
17.
They dropped. Yeah, they dropped one.
They did?
They dropped one. Went down from 16 to 17.
Yep, as they should. And honestly, I thought it
Yeah,
should have been more like a 2 or 3 spot jump instead of one.
yeah, got jumped by Penn State.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not Penn State. I'm sorry. Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt.
I don't know why I said
Yeah.
Penn State. Yeah, got jumped by
Yeah.
Vanderbilt. Man, okay. So before we wrap up, college, you told me you got something near and dear to
This
your
is
heart. You
yep.
got
Come on,
to get it
come
off
on,
your
come on.
chest.
Bring it over. Bring it on over. I appreciate it, my guy.
Tell, tell,
Um,
tell me what they've been doing to the Wolverines, bro. What's been up with that?
what we need to talk about is this disrespect that's going on my team. Okay, I understand that we're 3-1, and the game that we lost that you
Hmm.
really wanted to see us win was OU. Don't get me wrong. I was there. I wanted us to win. Did they blow us out? Absolutely not. That was a game that was close to the end. Okay, mistakes happen. We've got a young quarterback. He's a very highly paid quarterback, but we've got a young one. This dude is fresh out of high school. So for us to be sitting here looking at him as supposed to be the savior of this season, I never expected that. I look for
Okay.
consistency in what you're trying to do. The growth that I've seen him do over the past 4 games is what I've been expecting. You don't come in and just kill right away. These guys,
Right.
Manziel, all these guys, they weren't coming in freshman year killing. Like that's not the story behind this. So that's why I want to make sure that we have the proper expectation as a fan base, right? One, we need to realize we've got a freshman quarterback. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but I'm looking for the progress, and he's showing me that. Now, two, Michigan as a program every year gets ranked either high or low, and there's no in between. So it's either we've had the greatest recruitment class that we've had in 5 years, and they're giving us the eighth spot, or they give us a decent recruiting
Right.
class and then we're 24th. Like there is no, and then most of the time we're unranked, and then we have to prove ourselves so that we can get in the top 10. I don't understand the disrespect behind my team, which is one of the most historic teams who literally has the highest watch game in college football every single year, Michigan versus that other team. And then you gonna sit here and tell me that every single time that we have to have this conversation, we gotta earn our spot. I would just like a little bit more respect, as in like we'll give it to you guys, and then if you lose it, you lose it. But to just keep treating our like recruitment class and everything else like we didn't just get the number one quarterback in the country, it's a little crazy. But that's my opinion.
Yes. And I'm not mad at all that. I think what you just said also highlights one of the points that I was making. Michigan is now also trying to transform themselves into a pass offense. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if it's going to be complete, but they're opening the door. Like we haven't seen a gunslinger at Michigan in a minute,
Right.
right? So to go get this quarterback, we are watching them go through growing pains in real time, and for
Mm-hmm.
him to run into a OU who is not like OU was unranked, mind you,
Right.
So you're going into an SEC team house to play a game. I get it. I don't know how they finish this season, so I'm not going to take away from them. They're ranked now.
Mm-hmm.
They pulled up
Mm-hmm.
in 20. But I think this time next year is where the concern will be who can stop them. I'll have
Mm-hmm.
to see how this one plays out. But if they figure out some of those buttons to press to open that offense to where you got that dual threat back there, and then you make
Mm-hmm.
that representation, we might eventually extend this rivalry to the league and talk about, hey, who really does put out quarterbacks worth starting?
Right.
Because while y'all's rivals can look good in college, we haven't seen great products in the league. Let you get a Michigan one in there a couple times. I'm not gonna hold you. He's like, you could defend them all you want. I don't know where y'all think JJ is going, but good luck, Minnesota. Good luck, Minnesota. It's like I didn't see nothing back there that told me it's like, yeah, nah.
He was in the
So
hardball system, and as you can see, your boy over in the Chargers is doing all right with the hardball system. That's all I'm gonna
but
say.
he was all right before the hardball system. He was one of
He's doing better now, all right? He's doing better now, all right?
that's because they got him blocking. They said don't. They finally stopped trying to kill him back there,
Got
and he
that
has a
fucking
healthy
help.
team. Yeah,
Right,
man.
yeah.
So yeah, man. Look, running it down just to wrap up college. We're gonna go down the rankings. Ohio State number one, Oregon number 2. Shout out to the SEC pulling or not SEC, Big Ten. Big Ten pulling in 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Miami at 3. And Oregon went up 4. Let's be clear here. So they jumped after that win over Penn State.
Right.
Went up 4
Big one.
spots, number 2, dropping Miami by 1. Ole Miss went up 9 spots.
As
Ole
they
Miss went up
deserve.
9, pulled up at number 4. Oklahoma goes up 2 spots, pulling in at number 5. A&M holding on to it. I don't know if y'all gonna fumble like y'all usually do every year, but
I'm
we at
betting on
number
it.
6 right now. That pulled up 3 spots. Penn State drops 4, reasonable. 3 and 4 matchup, reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana pulls in at 5-0 at number 8. Texas goes up 1 to number 9. Alabama jumps up 7 to number 10. We got Tech going up 1. Texas Tech trying to be sneaky, be the Big 12 team of the year. There's always one. There's always one. Tech at 11. Georgia dropped 7 to 12. LSU dropped 9 to 13. Iowa State, Tennessee remained the same, respectively, at 14-15. Vanderbilt goes up 2. Brother Rose said, watch out for them boys. And yeah, they're sitting at 5-0. Georgia Tech drops 1, 17. Florida State dropped 10. Sure did forgot because that game was played on Friday. Hey, Virginia. Hey.
Might be a problem.
Hey.
Might be a problem.
Hey.
It's coming down to it.
Yeah, hey, they made them boys drop 10 of them things. 10 to number 18. Missouri up 1 at 19. Michigan, y'all dropped 1, which I'm not. It was a close game. It's a close game. Unranked. You drop 1. Michigan dropped to 20. Notre Dame. Illinois up to 22. BYU, Virginia, Arizona State.
Now, real quick question before we move on. Was Virginia ranked before they beat Florida State?
No.
Oh, so how many spots did they drop? 10?
10.
Okay, so we beat a team, but that's all. We're good. Also, too, this Alabama love of letting them boys jump 7, nah. That they can do it all they want to, but they're gonna show their hand at the end of the season, so I'm not worried about that.
Okay. To your point, though, well, Michigan wasn't as high as Florida State. Yes. Right? Because they just pulled it in the rankings last week.
Right.
Okay. To other respect,
I don't know, but I'm agreeing with you.
Nebraska's unranked. So if you're dropping people for losing to an unranked team 10, I could see a partial drop, but I would only support the drop if they were like upper of 15. I think at where they were, considering what Nebraska is, I don't think there should have been a drop myself.
No.
Right. So,
especially with the teams that had to drop and swap. If anything, leave us where we are or put us up 1. But dropping us 1 to me doesn't make any sense on a win. You're telling our team it doesn't matter who you beat if they're not this team, or this team. Meanwhile, we've got other people out here smashing, 73-3 teams and everything like that. And they're going to get a pat on the back. Like, I don't understand that. Nebraska's not a scrub team, that's still a major university. So the fact that we get dropped by 1, I got a problem with that.
He said the major universities. Most of these places are major universities. He said major university.
Listen, you can't talk to me about Michigan. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm sorry. Y'all forgive me, y'all.
He said major university. Like all these teams.
We're not gonna pull up no schedules. We're just gonna move on.
Oh my goodness, major university is hilarious, bro. Well, I'll take that little slick stuff that you just tried to slide by and go straight into professional CTE. Any highlight games you got from the NFL that you saw? What was your highlights from this weekend? It may not even be games. What did you have some takeaways on?
Yeah, so my takeaway, one, especially being in fantasy with y'all, one of the things I got to talk about is my boy Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray. We all know Kyler can't see over the offensive line. We get that, and he be heaving it. But we need to find some way to get this connection going because one, we all know Marvin Harrison is that guy. Even though he went to that school, we know that he's that guy. And I just need some type of, breakthrough for them too, because they actually have a really good team. But it just seems that it's
Right.
always falling short because we have to, weigh the options between what Kyler can get open to. Now, whether that's the offensive line, whether that's a connection between the players, I can't give you the answer to that. But to see how talented they are and to see how they always fall short is getting a little tiresome.
Yes. Okay. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I will I will say I'm looking forward to seeing what the Giants do now. With you get a good start. This one, that
Mm.
conspiracy theory came up too. It came across the timeline. You get a receiver that's great coming from LSU
Mm.
in their first game with, or one of the first games on the same day with the QB that played at Ole Miss, tearing their ACLs in the same exact game number. And I said, damn, 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 damn. And I said, woo. The
Yeah.
Jackson Dart played a game. I only highlight that one because it was interesting to watch his style, even though I saw him as a decent passer at Ole Miss.
Right.
Most of his big plays this game, he was running. So I
Yeah.
didn't see anything that was like,
Right.
oh, okay, cool. This confirms you as a starter. You won. So you winning lets you sit in that spot. They're looking for any type of excitement, So
Yep.
not having Russell play was going to be what you were watching, and most of your plays Jackson Dart was running. So I know they solidified him as a starter. We have to see now, especially because your receiver's down. So
Yeah.
I
Now
saw on the
really gonna
fantasy
see what
board.
you can do. Yeah.
You feel me? So and you're missing a lot of running backs. So Scatterboo is there. Scatterboo is going to give you energy, but is he the person that can work well with you now that you're down the receiver? You're going to have to see. And I saw the fantasy boards. Wan'Dale Robinson was flying off the shelves, flying. He was flying off the shelves, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so in those moments where you don't have a stud receiver
Mhm.
and most of your backs are injured, is Scatterboo a first through third down back consistently? Jackson, can you make some plays with pressure? You are now starting to come back down to what Daniel Jones was experiencing.
Right.
See, now DJ has Saquon. I can only do so much, right? But you now working with what he working with. So I thought it was the upset of the Chargers because the Chargers are one of those teams where I don't think I want to see them. If I'm in the NFL, I do not want to see them later on down the line. As this hardball system,
Yeah.
to your point, is working, and we're seeing Herbert start to hey, people on the fantasy side are so upset because Lad McConkey isn't what they thought he would be so far this season. And meanwhile, Quentin Johnson all of a sudden, like a chia pet, grew some hands and can catch. Like, and Keenan Allen's like, yeah, man, I just get to run some TD routes here and there. Like they got a squad with
Yeah.
Omarion Hampton back there. Yeah, that was a game, and
Yeah.
I thought they was gonna pull it off. I thought the Chargers were
Yeah.
gonna pull it off. I really did. So
You said
you
you
know,
said DJ got Saquon. You talking about DJ got from the Colts? He's got
no, I'm saying when he was in New York. So when I'm saying what
Gotcha.
Jackson Dart had
Okay.
to do, yeah, back when
Okay.
he was in New York, he did have
Okay.
Saquon.
Gotcha.
I can't take that away. Yeah, but you
Yeah.
did go to another really good. You went to another good running back, bro. You went to another good running back. Easy
Isn't the
transition
coach?
into that game. Rams and Colts gave us one,
Yes.
and DJ tried to come back. DJ tried to come back, but the Rams and Colts
Yep.
gave us one. Are the Rams a sleeper team?
I think so. I think they're one of those
Or
teams every year, but I think they're showing it earlier than they normally do. Because usually they're a scrappy team trying to show you at the end of the season, like, we're still here, we're going to stick around, and then they do that late light push. It looks like they're
right?
trying to show that early so they don't have to do the work on the back end. I think they're trying to
Okay.
set themselves up almost like the Indianapolis coach used to do with your boy Peyton. They used to like come in, not to say they're gonna be 13-4 or what and all that, but like come in, do the work early, so then later on they can chill because they got an old quarterback, they have
Right.
older receivers, and so they can't really. I don't see them putting 17 weeks of film out and it being the exact same energy every week. I think you got to give them boys a break so they can kind of get into the playoffs the way they need to.
See, I don't know. I asked the question more so on the side. I don't know if they're a sleeper team. I think they're blatantly one of those teams that is just
Legitimate.
yeah, like we're so used to saying names these last few years, and then where they've been these last few years, as what you were saying, kind of like they
Mm-hmm.
get in there, we'll
Mm-hmm.
see. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, it's like okay, the curtains are starting to peel, and it's like, hey, yeah, oh yeah, we're here. They're in the room, but they didn't tell anybody they walked in. They just been kind of sitting in the corner, just
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
So and I think what's kind of shed a light to them specifically, especially once you're looking, we spend so much time talking about one NFC team and then a
Mm-hmm.
handful of AFC teams. That's been the last, give or take, 3-4 years.
Yep.
The Eagles are there. But now with some of those AFC teams not being themselves, which is the Bears, I'm sorry, not the Bears, the Ravens, the Bengals, Ravens and the Bengals, even the Chiefs, it has now opened the door to, whoa, who else should we be looking at? And the Rams just kind of like, oops, damn,
Yep.
you saw me. Damn,
Yep.
you tried to cover up. Like they were able to hide behind Tampa, be like, yeah, you talk about them. It's like, nah, you saw me. And you gave a game. Y'all been giving games. You gave a game to the Eagles at that.
Right.
And
Right.
then here you are, almost the same thing this week, like showing this is who we are.
I mean, the AFC is cooked. Like outside of the Steelers, they're absolutely cooked. Ravens banged up, Browns are a mess, and the Bengals are limping. Like call it
Uh,
what you want. The rest of it, that's like it's over. It's the Steelers or nobody else coming out of the AFC North. NFC is easily Eagles, Niners, Lions, top three, just like that. Just
you
like
you
that.
still had you had the Niners top three? That's tough.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna come back to that.
Okay,
I'm gonna ask this first.
okay.
Tank's not the word.
Uh oh.
Do you relax? Do you relax if you're Baltimore?
Ooh, no, you can't, because your window is diminishing, and we're watching it and play out in real time. You have Lamar, and you know that he's got to strike sometime real soon. Not saying he ain't got years left to play and all that other stuff, but we all know how contracts work out. We know how players' development work out. We also know how this coaching stuff can switch up every single year. You've got a guy like Lamar, and you've got Mark Andrews, you got Derrick Henry, you've got Bateman, all these Flowers, you've got all these different weapons that you can use,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got a defense with the other guys on the other side with Queen and everybody else that you have that are just supposed. I mean, Hamilton, who's just literally a crash out dummy. He just wants to go and smack somebody across the head. You got all these players in these contracts, but you're running into a bunch of these injuries and these, things that are happening that are just out of your control. You got to strike now. I think you try to rest up Lamar as much as you can, get as far as you can, and then hope he's ready when the playoffs come, or before the playoffs come, so that way you can have that push going to the playoffs. Because especially how you seeing the Chiefs look right now, right? Because that's your big brother that's been whooping you all every year. If he ain't doing what he's supposed to do right now, and it looks like this towards the end of the season, and a game comes down between mano y mano, you might be in a position where you can take one up on them. But if right now what we're seeing, you don't have a chance.
Which was crazy because I for sure had the Ravens going into that weekend. I thought the Chiefs looked depleted. Like we're seeing them in a situation where they're staggering, and like that was supposed to be the one where the Ravens win, and even with the injuries, you can say, you know what, we'll be all right. Now it's you got all these questions. You
Yep.
got all these questions on how it's looking, and I'm not a fan. of this conversation, because the way you feel about Michigan is the same way I've been feeling how people have been disrespecting Lamar. I get it.
Okay.
It's not the best season for him so far, but at
Yeah.
the same time, based on what we've seen, he didn't lose those games,
No.
but you apply it to him. And I
Right.
get the quarterback aspect of it, of yes, that's your team. But there's specificity with Lamar himself where, all right, I don't see the same Trevor Lawrence talk when the Jaguars lose.
Ooh.
Pat has lost a lot of this season, but what has been the reason behind him? Oh, he don't got a receiver, injuries, this, that,
Right.
and the third. Cool.
Right.
When he wins, injuries, this, that, and the third. So I'm looking at Lamar being stuck in the middle of, if he has injuries or a lack of talent,
Mm-hmm.
there was still expectations. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
When he has talent, you would criticize him more. So if last year, for example, Patrick Mahomes had all those injuries, that's the past. They were winning. They were, but they
Mm-hmm.
weren't winning by like offensive play. Hell, you
Right.
weren't even sure if they were winning by defensive play.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly, there was some stripes that had the same jerseys as them.
There we
With
go.
with that going on, flip side,
Right.
Josh Allen had a hell of a year.
Mm-hmm.
Following to this year, Josh Allen's
Mm-hmm.
winning.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what he's doing with essentially nothing. It's narrative. With the talent, Lamar had better numbers. Wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
Just wasn't enough. There was no winning. So now fast forward into this year, being in the same situation where you know you have injuries. The defense, as good as they are, has been injury riddled for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Humphreys may be there here and there, Hamilton here and there. Like you're consistently seeing injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Last I checked, how many turnovers? I think Lamar has a couple. We haven't seen Derrick Henry fumble this much.
I was
They
just
were
about to
in the
pose a
game with
question to
y'all.
you. Yeah. I was
They were
just
they
supposed
were
to
in the
put.
game with
Yeah.
the Lions. The turning point wasn't Lamar Jackson.
Right.
So if I'll leave with the last piece. My biggest thing as well compared to those other quarterbacks, first through third down, you're telling me you're having this man do running play, dump off, maybe short pass.
Right.
And with the questionable line, he's usually trying to scramble in a lot of these situations. Then on
Right.
fourth down, you say, please be Lamar. Please.
Make a miracle happen,
But,
please. Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
didn't let Lamar be Lamar first through
Mm-hmm.
third down. And that's
Mm-hmm.
that's a coaching thing. And you
Mm-hmm.
would have to ask, the Harbaugh brother can just step over just to the right and let
Mm-hmm.
somebody call the offense. Like just
Mm-hmm.
have more rain on that offense, because the disrespect that he's been getting to me is like, yes, he's losing currently. If he was going into this weekend 3-0 and he lost to the Chiefs, y'all were still going to disrespect him. If he went into this weekend 3-0, if he beat the Lions, which was a great game, because that was a great
Mm-hmm.
game, that was a good litmus test for both teams.
Guess
If
what?
he beats the Lions, oh yeah, I mean he still hasn't beat Pat. All right, what do you want? What do you like, what do you want? Because you don't say he still hasn't beat Pat as much as when we hear Josh Allen be talked about week in and week out.
So
We
so let
don't.
me pose a question to you. Let me pose a question to you.
Okay.
I got two parts. One, more of like a statement than a question. I'm always of the belief that one play does not make or break a game. Now, when that one play happens, definitely makes a difference, right? When you fumble the
Right.
ball twice in the last two possessions to give the game up, that's tough. But I never look at the scoreboard and said, if I'd have made that one play, this is what should have happened. It's an array of things that should have happened that you should have never been in that position to begin with. The game should be 50-0. That's how I look at the game. Now, do I know the realistic
Okay.
side of it? Yeah. Mistakes play into when you let the opponent in, you leave the door open, they kick that bad boy in. I get the difference.
Okay.
All I'm saying is, with all of that, I still don't blame Derek. I still don't blame Derek. Like Derek has been, you can't rush for over 200 yards in a game, have a couple tutties, and then a couple fumbles is the reason why you lost the game. Defense let up some points. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, it's a collective thing.
Mhm.
It's always a collective thing. So if that's the case, and this is no shade to your boy Lamar, if he's had the talent and he did well with it, had better numbers, and he hasn't had the talent and he still did good, had great numbers, What is it going to take to get over the hump?
Okay. To your first point, part of where the blame comes, there's multiple factors in the game, yes. I think we also both know when your name is of a certain magnitude and you are getting paid to match the pressure,
Right.
and in that moment you cracked,
Right.
that because that's why
It
you are
matters. It
you.
matters when. It matters when.
Right.
100%.
If Justice Hill fumbled, we may not even be talking about it.
Mm-mm.
You're Derrick Henry.
Uh, uh,
Like you, okay, put it. Oh, let me rephrase that. You be talking about it, but 3 weeks down the line, you
we
like,
wouldn't be
yeah, that
talking
guy
about it.
fumbled.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not even the name, and that, with all due
Yeah.
respect, right? Where Derrick Henry was having a hell of a night.
Right.
They're talking about historical run for this season, making your high school record, and then you fumbled in that moment. It's like all that stuff was being added.
Right.
Then 2 weeks later, same scenario, right?
Right.
So to me, the turning point there, unfortunately for them, and I get it, you got to adjust, and a lot of teams have adjusted. Shout out to the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been the main one to show that they can adjust, but it also shows when you don't have health. And Baltimore is rarely healthy.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about even beginning of the season, not even just beat up as you go through. Baltimore is rarely healthy. So my mind would have told me, now that Mark Andrews is getting a little bit older, you're still feeling out likely. I've always thought that they were a receiver short.
Okay.
You get him, and I like you don't need, I don't think you need Antonio Brown, or I don't think you need AJ Brown. I think you get you a, I was gonna say Brian Thomas, but he's having
Like a Jennings
um,
from 49ers type deal, or
I would say Pickens,
okay.
because he's a, Pickens is a name, but he's not them. To be clear,
Okay.
at least right now,
Mm,
you play for Pittsburgh, they haven't thrown the ball like that, right?
right.
You land you a Pickens, because I'm also thinking of a personality that matches Baltimore. Pickens
Okay.
going to Baltimore, you feel me? That's a match. Like
Yeah.
that's
That
right
sounds
there.
like, yeah.
You and Lamar, you know
Him
what
and
I'm
them
saying?
both
Up
on the
top.
skis. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you two pulling up, and
That
it's
can
like,
also
okay,
be
because even for
volatile
Derrick
though
Henry,
too.
it could, but that the conference and the team is meant for volatility.
Okay.
The Baltimore Ravens as a culture is volatile.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, all Suggs, all of them, they are volatile people. Like any given moment, you are going on a full crash out. Death
Right. Right.
is far from inevitable with the ball. So
Okay.
in that essence, like I always thought it was receiver. That's me. I you have a receiver next. If you have a Pickens next to a Zay Flowers that you allow Zay to grow
Mm-hmm.
and be the slot, come on, man. Like you got
Mm-hmm.
Hopkins, but Hopkins is he's older.
Mm-hmm.
He's older. So I'm of the opinions like, yeah, I think I've always thought that they needed a receiver. You went and got Odell when he was older. That's not the same. And he got hurt. Again,
Mm-hmm.
you're right there. You're
Mm-hmm.
right there. I I would have said like trying to steal a Brandon Ayuk, knowing he's coming off an injury, that I might have went in the waters for that one to
Yeah.
to maybe see if that works, or but just getting that receiver, if you could steal Pickens from the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was plotting over
I'm,
here
I'm thinking
too.
that's an option. So
I was plotting over here too because whenever Max Crosby was upset over in the Raiders, I was trying to figure out how we could get him to be in the blue, in the electric blue, because I couldn't even imagine seeing him and Aiden on the opposite sides of the ball. Boy, what? I was trying to cheat. I don't care.
uh, but because between Max and Miles Garrett, for that temporary time where it looked like he was testing the market, man, because if we would have landed Miles Garrett, we don't spend the 2 draft picks that we did. But I'm also happy with the 2 draft picks that
Yeah,
we picked
they
up
panned out.
as a Falcons fan.
Panned out.
We can get that one out the way. Hey, Commanders. that was
I'm
one.
telling you right
That was it.
now.
That was supposed to be an easy win for you.
Yeah,
That, you 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 caught us coming off of a 30 ball with no points. Morale low, low. A
all I'm
motivated
saying,
Marcus Mariota.
yeah, yeah. Look, man, I was ready to sell the crib. I was ready to sell the team. I didn't care what it looked like. As long as we got Max in an electric blue jersey, I was cool with it because I'm like, man, could you imagine? Because like you see how Aiden's playing right now. Could you imagine if we had somebody on the other side of him where they were applying that same pressure? Oh,
That's most defenses too, man. Because the defensive lines have been, even with the rules, having a fun time this season. A fun time this season. And you know what? I'm gonna take that specific point to highlight one of the games I wasn't even gonna speak on. In a battle of two bums, the Texans beat the Titans, right? One one team is cheeks, the other team is ass.
right.
That play, that play where the tackle ran into the guard and they didn't even touch my man before he wrapped up CJ Stroud told me everything of what the rest of the season is looking like for that team. The Texans, y'all gotta win. You didn't deserve that win. You didn't deserve no part of that win. Y'all gotta win. That's the most air I'm gonna give y'all as some bums, right?
That's it.
All right. We got a tie game.
So annoying.
We got a tie game in the NFL, which I'm not gonna lie to you, so underwhelming. For the game that you had, 40-40, Parsons return, Jerry talking noise before the game to end in the tie. What were your thoughts on the game, man? what did you think?
You see
I
my
know
face.
you were happy because you should smile a little bit because George Pickens won you your fantasy week.
He did by
George
point two
Pickens
five.
single-handedly he single-handedly carried your squad this
Mm-hmm,
week, bro.
mm-hmm. And I won
You,
by
you should be kind of
0.25.
happy.
Yes. So I'm very happy about that. I am a avid member and attendee of the Cowboys Hater Club. So I'm definitely one of those guys when I see them lose or tie, I'm in a pretty good mood. Um, as long as George Pickens does what he needs to do for my fantasy. But just to see them have such a great game between the two, you can feel the animosity. You can see the beef between the two teams. Like they were really bringing it to one another. It was great. You get into the end of the game, and I wanted them to not kick a field goal. I wanted them to go for the score. I know to kick a field goal with to tie the game, and then we end in a tie. Whoop-de-doo, right? I wanted to see an actual game. So when you're down there at the end and you playing around, throw that bad boy in the end zone. Why are we chunking this thing up 2, 3 possessions in a row so that way we could just kick a field goal? It didn't even feel like they were trying to score. They were trying to set themselves up just to kick a field goal, knowing it was going to be a tie. Lackluster.
Which was so nasty because that 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 clock management by the Packers to end the game
Trash.
was so disgusting. Like, and that's that type of it was disgusting to the point where this is why people talk like, oh, it's a script.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just blatant clock mismanagement.
Mm-hmm.
You were a seasoned pro as both a
Mm-hmm.
coach and as Jordan Love as a QB, and you just watched 20 seconds with timeouts. With timeouts, you had all your timeouts, and then you just blew through them in the last 2 minutes, doing absolutely nothing, man. You're right. They didn't play to win, and it was also nuts to see because I will say I can understand why you don't go for the end zone on that fourth. You just finish off with kicking a field goal, mainly for the reason of if the Lions exist and you have the volatile word of the pod Vikings, you don't know if you're going to win the division or a potential wild card spot.
That makes sense.
We know the Cowboys are essentially going to be wild card.
Yeah.
So that game might be the difference between you two, right? And that's where you
True.
get stuck. You know what I'm saying? Hold on a quick second. But no, I don't know.
Competitor,
A tie
as
is
a
horrendous.
competitor, I want to see a W or an L. As a competitor, I don't want to see a tie.
Football. I don't want to see a tie. I don't want to see a tie in football at all. You know, 2 undefeated squads: Eagles, Tampa Bay. Give me your thoughts.
I feel like we all are falling in love with Baker Mayfield all over again. The dude's a stud. I don't understand why we have to even have the conversation behind it. He's a stud. He will get it on the ground if he needs to. He knows how to find his wide receivers, open or not, and he also knows how to read the defense. The defense for Tampa Bay was stepping up in areas, other ways they were letting them down. But as far as this all comes down to it again, I'm just falling in love with Baker again. Just to be honest with you. The dude is just, he going to go get it. He's the quarterback that you want on your team.
How do you feel about the offense?
I felt like the offense was there. I mean, they were playing the Georgia Bulldogs of the Philadelphia Eagles. So, I mean, I understand if you got a couple of, possessions that they're applying the pressure or they're bringing whatever they need to bring to you. Like, I understand that point. But as far as them not being able to beat the Philadelphia Eagles at the last second, I mean, it's kind of like the college situation where we were talking about, where they've got the higher paid players, they've got the bigger players, they've got the bigger stats. Like, it makes sense that they don't pull it out at the last second. But for Philly to kind of like wham a bam, make it happen at the last second, it's a good testament for them that they know what they're doing. But at the same time, you let a team like Tampa Bay come around, mess up your record before the season comes to an end, you're going to be in trouble.
And you know what? Two things. I will add to your point. Baker gets the comfortability of working up every year, right? Because realistically, you're not supposed to be here in these types of conversations. So you get to play with house money every year. Now, you're also the best fit for Tampa and vice versa. So y'all are working out as a great pair in this current moment.
Yep.
You also have a great offense, bro. You do. All the good things are falling in place for Tampa. And with that being said, Tampa has also shown recently they kind of have a general idea of Philly's number. We've seen it in the playoffs. Right. We've seen it in the regular season. Like you get to go and play Philly where most people are looking at it as like, man, it's Philly, gotta lock in. But because Baker's such a gamer and Tampa kind of has that idea, it's like y'all go in there like, we could beat y'all. Like it's almost as if they're designed to beat Philly, right? It's like you just happen to have their number. On the other side of the ball, the Eagles did what they needed to do, and that just told me, it's like, say what you want about Jalen Hurts, he's gonna win you a game when you need him to do it. You can talk all you want. He is showing, I'm gonna go make that throw. I'm gonna go. Hey, you need this done right quick. Like Jalen Hurts is kind of one of the most frustrating players, and he reminds me of Kawhi Leonard. Because all you do is you say, sexy. "Oh, you only nothing," and it's like, "Oh, I just need to get 18." Okay, cool. I'll just give you 18. Like if that's all you need to win, like some games I'll give you 30 if that's what it needed to happen. But today, it looks like 18. Here you go. Here you go. Go home. Go home.
Nothing he does is sexy,
bro.
But
you get paid this much. Don't you think it should be? Did we win?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, but you should be up. But did we win?
Oh, facts. Okay. We're just speaking about the facts, not about how this made you feel. How you feel when the game was over? Did you love this play? Did I get my feet into the touchdown? Did I give the ball to the player to get his feet into the touchdown? That's all we need to talk about. And then there's nothing sexy about his game at all, but it gets the job done, so you can't be mad.
And you've been in a group chat with me. I've been a Jalen Hurts defender. Hey man, I don't know what you want me to that going back to earlier in the conversation, that one play, he's a
Mm-hmm.
fumble away from saying I beat Pat twice. All
Yes.
those conversations that y'all be having, I almost beat Pat twice. They
Yeah.
said there was a stronger likelihood of me not getting back versus Pat getting back. And then I came back and then I
And beat
beat
him.
him. Like
Mm-hmm.
beat him
Mm-hmm.
in front of y'all. I was throwing
Mm-hmm.
passes that looked pretty. You know, the guy you said was better than me. I was throwing pretty passes
Right.
all the way
Right.
up and down and put up
Right.
numbers. Johan Dotson caught a touchdown. Johan Dotson.
Who?
Johan was who's supposed to be nice in Washington, has become a
Right.
third string. He's catching touchdowns. Then came into the season, and I did it again. Then got the boys that tend to upset us and said, "Come here." And then I did it again. So, bro, hey, look, as somebody that has him in some of my fantasy leagues, I've already came to the conclusion that it's like, damn, bro, after week 13, he may not play because they mess around and go 12-1. They don't need to do nothing else. He may not play. I'm looking for trades for backups as we speak.
Might be a rough one at the end for you.
Trades for backup.
Yeah.
Look, man. Uh, and then okay. So, quick question on them specifically: the wide receivers. Does AJ demand he demand a trade?
Here's what I gotta say. You and I both know when it comes to contract negotiation time, a team looks at you and goes, based off of your stats, you should only be worth this. There's your production. You're only worth this. Knowing damn well that AJ is one of the, if not top wide receiver in the league. So that's why they be screaming when they don't
Mm-hmm.
get the ball. It's because they know their production is worth based off of what they're doing on the field. So if he's out there just looking like a practice dummy, he ain't gonna get the money he deserves. Now, Philly has been doing a decent job of taking care of the big players, and I get that. But if someone as talented as much as like AJ Brown is, he wants that rock and he deserves it. It's not like he hasn't put in the work. He is literally stepping over people every time he catches the ball. There's no need to not throw it to him, even sometimes in a double team, because he can find it. I don't
That's a
see him
fact.
asking for a trade because I think he's too good of a dude to let that happen. You can see how he's like, Jalen's my quarterback. I'm going wherever he's going. He's been that guy. I don't know if we've seen the point of him being so upset that he's like, I'm out, but I definitely see that they need to make some changes to keep him happy. I don't see him leaving.
He's in one of the wilder situations, or he's in a conundrum. He's in a
Yeah,
conundrum, right?
yeah.
Because most diva wide receivers aren't until maybe AJ. We're not used to seeing high caliber wide receivers win.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are winners. Like as we speak, not only have y'all been winners, you're really good now. So
Mm-hmm.
you're in this position that if you leave, it says so much about no, you were just chasing the bag. Like if in the question
Mm-hmm.
being, do you want to win or chase the bag? There's not a team better right now as we
Yeah,
speak.
yeah.
where, and where else could you go where they can't put 8 men in the box because you're out there, and vice versa? They can't double you because Saquon's back there. You
Right,
don't have that situation
right.
anywhere
Or
else
Devontae Smith on the other side of the field that opens up your hole to come through the middle or send it up the side.
with one of the best offensive lines in the league.
True, true.
You are stuck. It is purely for the bag, and it will
Mm-hmm.
show that it's purely for the bag if you were to leave. And
I
that's
don't
tough
think he will.
because you and but it's also tough because you deserve that respect. Like you said,
He does.
you're one of them. You're one of them. Yeah,
You're
they don't
Justin
talk about you.
Jefferson. You're Jamar Chase. You are one of them guys.
He's the reason why I think DK Metcalf is overrated.
Wow.
Body build is right there with AJ
Yeah.
Brown with way
Yes.
crisper route running and way
Mm-hmm.
better hands. And he could do
Mm-hmm.
this. You don't have to wait for that one pass where DK takes off. It's not like DK is
Mm-hmm.
just smoking people on the routes, right?
Mm-hmm.
AJ's a deep ball threat. He can come across the middle threat. He could sit down
Mm-hmm.
and he will go get it on you.
Yep.
If you lob it in the end zone, he's everything that DK's not. clearly,
It's a good point.
right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to argue, especially for all the sizable wideouts. He's the best sizable wideout.
Yes.
You can put Mike Evans in that conversation just because of consistency, but yes, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson run better routes. But if you put the ball in the air,
Yeah.
AJ Brown got to go be in that conversation, man. He
Has
got
to.
to be in that conversation.
That's
You know,
Debo out there. You got to.
oh man, yeah. So the Eagles hand Tampa Bay their first loss.
Mm-hmm.
Their first loss.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of first losses, man, the Colts. So was the Daniel Jones train a fluke, or they just ran into a really good team? And I don't even want to say ran into because it's not like they got beat down. It was a good game.
Right. Right.
They lost to a respectable team. Now that the bubble has been bursted, how do you feel on the Colts?
Still feel like the Colts are a good team. You can't measure a team's first loss in a season. No one is really supposed to go undefeated. I don't like when a team goes undefeated anyway because then you have that whole pressure of being undefeated going into doing all that stuff. We've seen it too many times. Um, I think that Daniel Jones is still Daniel Jones underneath that jersey, and we need to maybe take that cloth off the face so that way we can see what's really underneath there and just we're falling in love with the production that we're seeing because he's on a good team that's really doing well right now, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't see this show running through the end of the season. I think this is a first half gotcha, and then it's going to be a second half. That's what I thought.
Do you stand by that, knowing how weak that division is?
Yes.
Because
We're going to talk about this later. We can stamp it if we
you
need to.
might be right.
We're gonna talk about this later because I think Daniel Jones, not to say he's not doing a great job, not to say he didn't get the break that he needed to being on a better team, all those things put together, I still don't believe it. I'm still looking at him. I'm still squinting. You know what I mean? I'm like, what's going on under there? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe it yet. And I'm squinting and I'm squinting hard because we've just seen too much before this. We've seen too many of these, like, oh, Daniel had 3, 4 good games. Is he the guy for New York? They give him a fat contract, then he just tanks. You're sitting there looking at all these different things play out with him, but I'm just supposed to believe him on a 3-1 start? No, sir. Sorry. I need more film. I need more tape. I need more dubs.
And see, he's also another one. He can only go up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like he was only supposed to go up, and then if not, it's like, oh, okay, you are who we thought you were, right?
Yes.
And so, in that essence, it's not. I don't know if we get a full reading simply for the fact they might go 7-0 in the division.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely, like
Mm-hmm.
unless the Titans just decide to play because it's a conference game. Same with the Texans. Those should be 4, like
Yeah.
gimmies.
Yeah.
And against your other competition, who I think should be in the same boat as him, I think you could beat Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville
Yeah.
twice. Because
Yeah.
and again, I want to reiterate, there is nothing that Trevor Lawrence has done to where he should not be talked about with just as much slander as Daniel Jones. Their numbers
Correct.
are the exact same.
They feel sorry for him. He's in Jacksonville. That's the only difference.
And Daniel Jones had to play in New York. There's
Yeah.
nothing gentle about playing in New York, period, for any sport. If
Exactly.
Daniel Jones was already doing that on the Colts, we wouldn't really be worried about this. Like, oh yeah, draft
Right.
a quarterback, figure it out, right? No,
Mm-hmm.
you played in the Meadowlands, like you're
Mm-hmm.
in a prime city, tough, cool.
Yep.
now I get to double down on that theory when they play each other. I want to see. I want to see. You got good running backs. He has a good running back. We're seeing what you're going to do with Travis Hunter.
And that's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking
You
about.
know,
You see how you're alluding to what I was talking about already? We talking about, yeah, this looks cute right now. This is great. I'm glad that he has some success so we can stop slandering him so tough on every single
right?
weekend and just being like Daniel Jones shouldn't be in the NFL at all. I'm glad that conversation is over. You're talking about a guy who still put it on film in college, who was able to be drafted high, and that doesn't go unnoticed, okay? But what we're talking about is when we start getting to the end of the season, or maybe even potentially playoffs, because they put themselves in a pretty good position with these teams that suck behind them. I don't have faith in this guy to get me to the next step. That's it.
Okay. But if Duke boy is doing the same thing as Clemson boy, and if they're the same numbers and one's talked about a particular way, what more do we need from him giving a pass to Trevor Lawrence? It's my question.
So you're asking, because I know how to read you. You're asking, when do we start the slander on Trevor Lawrence, and why hasn't it started already?
Or
I'm a,
or
I'm
if
in
there's not
agreement with you.
slander on him, why is there if there's no slander for him, why is there slander for Daniel Jones? Either which way.
The market. They felt sorry for Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville because Jacksonville doesn't have a pedigree at all for having success. I'm talking about the last quarterback they had that was worth anything was what, Brian Leftwich, and what he did. You know what I mean? Like that's where they
First of all,
are.
no
No
Leftwich
slander.
slander. No Leftwich
No
slander
no
would be
slander. No slander. Okay, I'm
he
just
was
saying.
payless Donovan McNabb in Madden.
Listen, he was cold to an extent. But I'm saying, like, that's the last time they've seen any type of success like that. And now we're sitting here having to sit and look at Trevor Lawrence, who gets drafted so high. He's doing his thing, but then we have to give him the same. No, he's in New York. New York expects to win. It's just that simple.
Okay. Okay. So I still have to see it. Unfortunately, he's my quarterback in fantasy right now because Joe Burrow got hurt. So
Ooh.
so
Well, I ain't looking too
I'm
much
trying to
better on my
remember.
own quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of hurt, you lost Tyreek this week. You lost
See, I know you
Tyreek.
like. See, you like the hurt
We
feelings.
lost
See,
Tyreek.
this.
Look, it's like, you know what? You're Jackson Dart. You won, but at what cost? at, at what cost did you
Man,
win?
man, it's been a rough week. I lost Lamar and Tyreek in the same week, and I've already got Kittle on injured reserve. It ain't looking hot right now, but I still got the dub, but it ain't looking great right now.
Look, man, you know my office is always open because when you look at
Nah,
most of the league, realistically, most of the league you and I are in is a group of where everybody respectfully, even if you're 3-1, you should be 2-2. Everybody is an equal 2-2 in this league. You got away with one of them, or you happen to be on the short end of the stick on one of them.
I can't agree with you more on this point because I literally won by 0.25 this week. 0.25. So I can't even sit here and be like, nah, I'm 3-1, baby. Forget it. Like I won
Whew.
solely because George Pickens decided to put on two Scullies instead of one. Like that is the only reason why I got the dub this week.
Whew. Boy, man, because I can't say I'm doing hot. I put all my faith into a rookie because Joe Burrow going down kind of shifted the season. And when I realized, like,
Yeah.
damn, man, like I took a risk on him to begin with, and then now on the other side, the same question I asked you for the Ravens, you just let it go if you're the Bengals, or is there too much money on the line?
I think you let it go this season.
A game? You just
You and I both know this ship don't get steered without Joe. So that's why when I texted you in the group chat when we had this conversation, is it time for Cincy to actually draft a real quarterback? A lot of people don't like drafting a real quarterback when you have one because it puts the pressure on them or they feel threatened or blah, 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 whatever. It might be time to really look that way.
I don't think you need to draft. I think you could trade for a good backup and be okay. Like one that could step in and maybe not be him, but
Mm-hmm.
you lose half a step. Right? Like
Okay.
I know the contract looks crazy and we were discussing it, but it's like, bro, this would be the time you go get a Kirk Cousins. He's the most apt
You know what? Just because you
QB.
want to offload him, don't do that to Cincy. Okay, just because you want to offload him,
What you
don't do
mean?
that. Don't do that.
What
Don't
you
look at someone
mean?
else's misery and then be like, "Yo, I just want you to be just as miserable as me." Don't do that.
What
Don't
what you
do that.
mean?
No, no, no one wants Kirk, not even Atlanta. So what are
So
you doing?
so he so you telling me he could wear chains and grills and make Justin Jefferson look like that, and he can't do it for his teammate with Jamar Chase? That's what you saying. That's what you saying.
No,
That's what
no,
you
we're
saying.
not doing that. Okay, outside of Kirk Cousins and your love to get his $180 million tail off your team, who do you see that could legitimately be their backup slash starter right now, who could put them in a position to actually be there at the end of the season? Because Joe ain't out for the whole season. He's out for majority, but he's not out for the whole season.
But the majority, okay, so what we would be asking is who can hold them down for 10 games,
You got to win some
give or
games.
take. Wait, well,
Yeah,
because
got
more
to.
so if Joe comes back early, if
Mm-hmm.
he's good enough to come back early and he can move, you still have to be in a winning position
Right.
for him
You
to
got to
pick up
win
the
7
mantle.
out of the next 10 games.
Okay, sounds crazy. Go get Russ.
That doesn't sound crazy.
Go get Russ.
That sounds
If he
decent.
gonna be a gunslinger and go out in the blaze of glory, go get Russ, man, and just
Yeah.
let him sling the ball. It's like, look, man, he's used to being on the run for his life, which is the Cincinnati offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else is new in this situation?
Right.
You can go get Russ. Who else would be one? I don't know if you take a risk because then you start shooting in the barrel for like a Zach Wilson, and I don't think you're there yet. But
Mm-mm.
a Russell, in all seriousness, Kirk and Russ, I know they're a little bit because why I also say Kirk is in that situation now that he's had an additional year to heal. We've seen him throw. He was throwing all the way up until he got hurt. All the way
Okay.
up until he got hurt. Okay.
Okay.
You have similar wide receiver sets like you had in Minnesota.
Okay.
Jamar, Justin, cool. You literally have 1A, 1B. Those are the two
Okay.
separations. You can
Okay.
argue Justin made you comfortable in the same way you made Justin comfortable. So it might be the same thing for Cincinnati. You have a decent running back with Chase Brown. So if you can keep the pass or the ball in the air just enough with T.
Mm-hmm.
Higgins on the other side, who's better with all due respect, he's better than Jordan Addison.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. Okay. So you can sling it. You can figure out a little something with Russell Wilson. Kirk Cousins is also developed enough, the same with Russ, to where you can come in and pick up an offense immediately.
Okay.
Cool. So, in a situation, why those two would be my primary, I'm seeing an opportunity to steal this division where we don't have to go through all of this extra turmoil. Could mess around and put ourselves in a situation to where Joe got to sit, even though it's an injury, you
Mm-hmm.
got to sit and kind of save yourself and then get a good amount of games if you come back in week 12,
Okay.
right? You come back in week 12 and you get 5 games to figure it out
Mm-hmm.
going into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And just in case it's something else happening, you have one of those two who are veterans going into the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs. Those would be my two options. Those are me.
Okay.
You can kind of tweak it. You can tweak it there because having Chase Brown also makes it effective for them. And you are already a pass offense. In order to keep somebody like Kirk and Russell alive, you have to be able to. You got to throw. You got to be throw
Yeah.
happy, if you
Yeah.
will, to keep them alive.
Yeah.
The only other option I would have thought of, he's currently a starter, and we're seeing is like because this would have been the time if he ended up being a backup, I would have traded for Geno Smith. I would have traded for
Okay.
Geno, but he's too fresh in his contract. But that's what I'm seeing.
So
You got a different
another
option.
name, another name would have been Jameis Winston. Given the weapons, Jameis Winston
Okay.
sit back in that pocket, let it fly. He's not gonna get it on his feet.
Okay.
He's not going to do anything that isn't over the top or extraordinary. He's going to just make the basic throws. He's going to get it down in the deep ball when he needs to. I don't think you need the flash of like a Russell Wilson. I think Jameis Winston is exactly what you need.
Do you think his tenure with the Browns last year put a stain on that?
No.
Okay.
No, you still
Not
saw
mad
those
at that.
spots.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes. Is he now QB2 with the Giants after what happened with Russ?
1,000%.
Because that's also part of the
1,000%.
reason why I said Russ.
Yeah.
You
Because he
think
might be
Jameis has
available.
now jumped the line?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
No,
So okay.
Yeah. They
Okay.
cutting that money. They getting rid of him.
Okay. So let me run down a couple more just really quick. Rodgers and the Steelers get a close one over there in Dublin. The Aaron Rodgers train still chugging along is probably one of the most funny stories in the NFL, but he got to win. Ashton Junty got a chance to get wiggly and they still lost. I don't know if this is a flash in the pan. My brother, I do have you on my team, so please make it consistent. I took a gamble. I took you in the first round.
Right.
I took you in the first round, man. I took a gamble. I was number 10 pick. Wasn't necessarily my go-to choice. I changed my draft strategy. So my brother, help
me.
because so they won. But matter of fact, I'm thinking of a point specifically for him, and I'm gonna come back for this. But the Broncos cooked the Bengals. Won't see anything on that, but that makes it easy to just kind of slide into this really quick fantasy piece. Everybody's hurt. So the waiver wire is as barren as the Sahara. You can't even say jumping. If somebody, all the picks that you wanted to get were available week 1 or 2, whether it be because people got injured, and then like me getting Cam Scatterboo would have been one of them ones. You were there for the draft. I took a risk on it was between him or Tracy Jones. Tracy Jones separates his shoulder. Damn it. Right? Our homie over there took a risk on Samson. Here comes Judkins. Because it's Samson. Or no, I'm sorry, Ford. Ford got hurt.
Yeah.
Filling the spot. You know what I'm saying? So
the reason why I said jumping is because you got people panicking now. You're throwing people in that ain't even doing that well, but you just need 5 or 6 points. You need something rather than nothing. So that's why I say it's jumping, because if you looked at our waiver wire today when it opened up, you were like, wait, they did what? But you're just looking at the desperation behind these injuries. You're like, I got to make something happen.
Got to make something happen, bro. Like there's clear fall offs in the position too. There was something I saw today where they said the average top 11 receivers to be drafted in fantasy football, only 2 of them are still worth having right now. Right? Justin and Jamar aren't putting up the numbers we expect them to put up. We're still trying to figure out what's happening with Brian Thomas Jr., right? Puka, solid. AJ Brown, his numbers.
Crazy.
Drake London, right? Who was the other one? I said Puka's doing his numbers. Tyreek Hill, hurt. St. Brown going crazy as usual. Shout out to Amon Ross. Going crazy as usual, right?
Up at 4 a.m. playing 2K and then going out and having a perfect game, 7 for 7, 2 TDs. So come on.
He trying to tell his dad's like, nah, you made the right cut. It was right.
Just couldn't cut it no more. That was it. Yeah.
Tyreek Hill hurt. CD Lamb hurt. All these receivers, bro, is just woo. It just and it gets dark so fast.
Yeah,
so fast on that waiver wire, man.
Yeah.
No, look, I got Blake Corum starting. That's how dark it is because I have somebody on the bye. I got Josh Jacobs on the bye, so I got Blake Corum.
Right. You got a good blue on your team, all right?
Speaking of that, another one that I also have on my team, Lad McConkey. not doing the numbers we were expecting them to do. Real life, y'all
Right.
still nice, but in fantasy, pain, man.
Yeah.
I went and drafted old boy that I didn't think had hands. Quinn Johnson is carrying my receiver squad. Quinn
Wow.
Johnson is carrying my receiver squad.
Wow. That's a name.
Carrying,
Yeah.
carrying, bro. Yeah.
What's up
Any
with all
waiver
these West
wire
Coast players
recommendation?
that you grab? That don't sound like you. Mm.
Nah, it's not. Nah, it's not so much West Coast. It's more so. I was looking at whose QBs were going to take the chance this year, right? At least
Okay.
for receivers. So
Okay.
seeing how they finished last year, I expected Herbert and them to sling the ball. Now you got health. So
Okay.
McConkey had the season he had. You bring back the end zone threat with Keenan Allen. Quinn Johnson just so happened to be Quinn Johnson was purely a waiver wire pickup that I think I scooped after week 1. Like y'all let that one drop. That was it. Right. He was the best of the option because Devontae Smith was another one I drafted. It's the Eagles offense. Some days it's there, some days it's not. I took a
Yeah.
risk on Travis Hunter. That hasn't
Yep.
paid off. So yeah. Daryl Mooney was hurt. And that's it. You go to the available receivers right now in our league as we speak. And K Bourne.
Who?
K Bourne.
Who?
Exactly. And I know who he is. He's with the Bucks. But with
Right.
Godwin and Luka there, big dog. Big dog.
Shepard. There's some
D
names.
Robinson. You know? Pain. So man. Any waiver wire pickups you think should be a steal. And I also want to put this out here. Us at Keep It Clean. If y'all make the right selection that we gave and y'all do good, you're welcome. If it goes horrible, it's your fault. Because I don't know what your league look like. That's on you. You're welcome.
We don't know how y'all points add up. We don't know what type of
Yeah,
league you in. You know.
You, you got any recommendations to throw out there?
The only recommendation I got is if you see a good game by a player at this point in time, and you have like what everybody else has, and that's 3, 4 people on the bench, just go grab them. Just take the chance. Right now, I'm taking the chance on Hill, the running back for Baltimore Ravens. I'm taking a chance on him, and I'm taking a
Yeah.
chance on Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup has been on my bench for the last 3 weeks. Now he wanted to ball out the last couple of weeks. Okay, we're gonna see. I need all that production to go right back up and keep it the way it was in LA, so that way I can survive this little tried time right now. Because if you pick, another good pick, tight end for the Saints.
Um, um, what was his
I'm about,
name? Hold on.
I'm right
Saints. What
here.
was his name?
Johnson, Juwan Johnson.
Mm,
Got a chance to get him? Go get him. He should be on somebody's team in your league, but if you got a chance to get him, go get him.
man, I will match you. One of the obvious Giants receivers.
Yes.
One of the obvious neighbors is down. Somebody has to try to save Jackson Dart. I would prefer Wan'Dale Robinson, but Slayton also isn't a bad option. With that being said, I'm on the side of be cautious with anything Raiders related. Don't be fooled, right? Like it's one of them situations where, other than Ashton and maybe Bowers,
Right.
everybody else is game by game basis. Because Trey Tucker had a game just the other week. Just the other week, I think he put up like, what was it, 40 in our league, and his average right now is 15.9 because there's a 4.9 of 4.2 sitting there, right? Like, so it's game by game and it goes by matchups. I I made fun of him, but I think Blake Corum, if you haven't already picked him up, the usage is picking up with the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means for Kyron. I don't think he takes Kyron's spot, but him being on special teams is also going to help with whatever he has going on. He might put up some numbers, and as tough as it is, to your point, I think Spencer Rattler might be a surprise, and this is rare, giving the Saints any type of credit. But Spencer Rattler is going to be one of those game by game. Let me be clear. I'm not saying just keep him there, but you go
Mm-hmm.
look at that Saints matchup, who they have the
Mm-hmm.
easiest path in the league, and you might be
Mm-hmm.
able to pick and choose every now and then. It's like, you know what, you might sneak me 27 today. I'm gonna go ahead and substitute you in, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
man. Any other any other additional thoughts? Anything else you want to toss on before we wrap up this episode?
Just to be clear, when I say pick up the guys that are having good weeks, that's because the player in front of them is hurt. So right
Yeah,
now, Gainwell, some of these guys for Pittsburgh, Hill coming in because Henry's had a few mishaps and the secondary is coming in trying to help out. These are the people we tell you to go get because right now their production is about to boop, 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 go straight on
yeah,
up because first string ain't handling business or they hurt. It's one of the two.
yeah. Look, man, I will add on to that at the same time. In a lot of these scenarios, we might run into this conversation. I'm eventually wanting to have the conversation of bringing back all grass fields
Oh
because
yeah.
even looking at even looking at the Malik Neighbors injury is like, man, if I'm on the Players Association, we it might be time to call for that. It might be time to
Yep.
call for that, man. Because
Yep.
dang, and really quick, I also thought that I thought that crocodile roll on Tyreek Hill is the exact reason why that should be banned.
Yes.
The exact reason why that should be banned, man. Like,
Yes.
and in the wicked turn of events, he also seemed happy he was hurt. I'll leave it there. It was a keep it
It,
clean podcast with the sports, man. Like, comment, subscribe. We drop these every Thursday morning. So y'all can go ahead and listen for what's coming up for the week. If you have any suggestions or feedbacks, let us know. For most of the games for both college and for the pros, there's a couple of good games, nothing too crazy that I saw that would stand out for us to really highlight what's going on for the next upcoming week, but we will review it. We're going to start pushing more for the fantasy piece as well. All of our episodes are going to drop on YouTube. We hope to embrace you during CTE season while we all keep our mind right and we watch them go sacrifice themselves week in and week out. Pray for the brothers. But find us on Instagram at the Keep It Clean Show. Same thing. We will be creating a Twitter soon. Find us on TikTok at the Keep It Clean Pod. And I am Ray. It's my brother Abe. You're going to probably see him a lot more. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And we out.
peace.
There we go. All right, man. How you feel?
Oh man, it felt cool. Like I said, this is me and you just chopping it up. So this ain't. It's no like